Great, thanks, Mike. Call the meeting in the city of Hawarden, Iowa to order on Wednesday, January 25th, 2017, 5:32 p.m. Three council members and staff are present. First standard agenda item is the approval of the January 11th, 2017 council meeting minutes. You have those in your packet. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Moved by John and seconded by Tim. Questions or clarifications? All in favor then of the January 11th, 2017 City Council meeting minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you. Next is the approval of the December 28th, 2016, and also the January 25th, 2017 claims for payment. Monty, any questions for those?
Nope.
Nope. Tim? John, questions?
None, thanks.
Entertain a motion for their approval.
So moved.
By Tim, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by John. All in favor of claims for payment, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you, that passes 3-0. Open business from the community. Have no one in attendance. Jason will be on the agenda items, so move to the mayor's report. Thanks to the city crew for clearing the snow in a timely manner this morning. Also thanks to many citizens who have helped out their neighbors to help clean their driveways and sidewalks. Fraternal Order of Eagles fundraiser will be held Saturday, February the 4th at the Hawarden Community Center. Thanks also again for everyone not parking on the street during the night so the snowplows can do their job much easier. Hawarden Fire Department annual ball is this Saturday at the Hawarden Community Center, or excuse me, at the Sportsman's. This is an opportunity then to support our local volunteers. And thanks, Mike, for the police report that's in our packet. If the public is interested, they can get that at your office if they have interest in that. We'll move next to council comments.
Now?
Yes. That'd be great.
Do we have a plan set for what garbage collection will be done in the event of snow or a broken truck or somebody not showing up or whatever? I mean, at least in my end of town, the garbage collection has been very sporadic. And there was no way to call this morning that knew if there was going to be garbage collection today or not, which meant that my constituents that feed me supper was pissed, and therefore I am pissed. I'm looking at you, Mr. Tucker.
I guess the answer is no, that I'm aware of, so.
So
not
can
that
we
I'm aware of.
formulate a policy? I mean, Sioux City says, okay, if you can't pick it up on one day, we'll move all the days back until we get caught up. Okay, fine. So if you can't do it on Monday, then I know you're going to be here on Tuesday. I do not have a clue what's going to happen to garbage tomorrow, and neither does anybody at City Hall.
No, we don't, so.
Good point.
So do I haul it out tonight again and leave it sit and maybe blow away?
I can't, I don't have an
I'm
answer.
asking you, is that your advice to me?
No, I don't know what my advice would be.
So you want me to
I'd be
leave my
mad.
garbage for another week sitting outside my back door? Is that your advice?
That's probably not my advice. My advice,
Can I bring it to your house?
No. I don't know what my advice would be, other than put it back out and,
We did that. They're not home. They couldn't go to work because of the snow.
yeah. So, I don't, there is no policy in place,
And
and
that, I guess, after all this BS is over, that's what I'm saying. We
Sure.
need a policy in place that everybody can understand, that everybody will appreciate in the event that garbage is not collected, for whatever reason. Man-made, God-made, whoever made.
Good, we'll work on that.
I wonder if they just missed it or what. They were out today.
Were they out today?
Yeah.
My garbage was shoveled and at the curb.
Read between the lines.
At 8 a.m.
Oh, that's why they went by my place before 5.
Yeah, along with the snowplows, right? They went by too. Rick's over here telling what a good job snowplows did, and you're saying what a good job the garbage guys did. I got it now. I have been transported to Akron overnight.
We'll work on a garbage collection policy. Good point.
we'll try and put something together. It's gonna take some cooperation of the garbage guys too, that's the other piece of it, because they're a contractual service that, you know, the only strength that we have is just issuing them another contract when the time comes, or not, so.
I don't know if it has anything to do with it. Linda wasn't in today, so I opened my own mail and I saw the garbage bill had something in there about asking us for patience, that they were developing more efficient routes, but I think that was just for commercial.
We are commercial, in case you haven't looked at your bill lately.
I am. But
I know I am,
Was
too.
it your place or at home that you were?
It's at home. Mrs. Harvey doesn't care about my place.
We'll try and get something put together. Here,
Then is everybody supposed to call City Hall? Is that what you'd like us to do?
Sure.
Because that was very unfruitful this morning.
They can, but they usually try to direct you to Independence Waste because we don't have,
Well, that phone didn't seem to have an answer today.
And that's all we can do too, is call them and find out, and we'd get the same results you did.
so,
depends on who calls sometimes. So we'll work on it.
Well, can we put a policy together?
Well, we can, but we didn't write it in our contract, but I think they would work with us.
We could ask them somehow to just have
Yeah, this is
some
what we
sort of
propose to
tell us-
do.
Or tell us what they want to do
Yeah.
if they don't pick it up one day. I mean, they should be able to say, this is what we'll try to
Right.
do.
You know, right now, I do not know where the garbage collection is going to be tomorrow.
yeah, and quite frankly, I don't either.
Right.
Probably
So,
not in Hawarden.
yeah, probably somewhere besides here,
Yeah.
so.
So what you're telling me in council comments in open session that, yes, you'll find some way of approaching this subject and get back to me?
Yes.
Can we have that in the minutes?
You darn right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm done,
Thank you.
for this time anyway.
Okay. Any other comments from council? Okay, we'll move to staff
I'm going
reports.
to take mine.
Pam, anything from you?
No, thank
Okay,
you.
thanks. Tom?
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Okay, Gary?
No, I have nothing either.
Okay, Mike?
Nothing.
Jim?
Nothing.
We'll move on. Thank you. Jason, thanks for being with us. Give us a hospital project update if you would.
Yeah, we moved in on the 12th of January, and things are going quite well. There always is a few little bumps and problems that you gotta work out, but things are going as well as can be expected. Tonight, we moved the lab, so the lab is upstairs now. So patients that need laboratory services will come in the main entry, and we'll have the full functioning lab available. We were transporting blood, if needed to be, over to Orange City during that transition time, but we didn't have to transport any, so I think we're sitting really good. They're working right now on actually they are kind of destroying the upper level and taking all the rooms out, and so all we have is a lot of open space. Once that's done, then they'll start putting the studs up and putting wire and recreating that area for the way it's planned, and so that's going well. And they're finishing up the cafeteria and the serving line, and that should be done by the end of February. So we're making progress, hopefully be done by the end of April, completely. And of course, there's sidewalks and landscaping and sprinkler system and all that other stuff to do, and signs. We haven't yet got the signs yet, but we have a monument sign in the corner, and then 2 wayward signs directing people on either side of the street. So hopefully that'll help in trying to get people where they need to go.
I find that very helpful. That's good. The outside signage to people
Yeah, there'll be
with the transition.
they'll be illuminated. The new signs will also be illuminated because we were concerned. We thought about going with the rock theme, but then if there's a blizzard, at night, so we decided to go with illuminated signs.
So temporarily put a map in the paper so that patients know where to go.
We can, absolutely.
If you're coming for lab, you used to go in this door for 35 years, now it's this door.
Mhm.
X-ray, this door. Patient services, this
Yeah.
door.
Some people work better with maps, and I know we try to do it on a verbal scale, but maps are a good idea. Yeah, we can definitely do that. So the only thing right now that people will be coming into the lower unit would be for physical therapy. All other services would be up on the main entry. So,
My advice is draw a map with the parking lot, and show them where to park their cars, and show them where to come in the hospital.
duly noted.
Good. Any other thoughts? Good, glad it's going well.
Thank you.
Good, thanks for giving us the update.
Yep, thanks.
Appreciate it very much. Agenda item number 4 would be a public hearing on the proposal for vacating the alley and final disposition of public real estate property adjacent to the Russ Rulin property. At this point, I open the public hearing. If we had any comments,
No
verbally,
written or oral comments?
mail, anything to the
Nothing.
city offices? Anyone on council wish to give any comments during the public hearing? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing, which leads us to the Resolution 2017-1, vacating the alley and authorizing the final disposition of the real estate. Is there a motion for Resolution 2017-1?
So moved.
Moved by John, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Tim. Questions with the resolution? Hearing none, roll call vote then for Resolution 2017-1.
Harvey?
Yep.
Kurth?
Yes.
Feldhacker?
Yes.
On a 3-0 roll call vote, Resolution 2017-1 passes. Agenda item number 5, Resolution 2017-2, proposing to dispose of real estate property and publishing the notice of public hearing, this lot located on 1425 Falcon Drive. Is there a motion for that resolution?
So moved.
Moved by Tim, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by John. Questions for this resolution? Hearing none, call for a roll call vote, please, for Resolution 2017-2.
Kurth?
Aye.
Feldhacker?
Yeah.
Harvey?
Yep.
On a 3-0 roll call vote, Resolution 2017-2 passes. Agenda item number 6, we'll go to fiscal year 2018 utility budget discussion, knowing that discussions tonight with 2 council members might be not full, and we'll bring it up some more, but we'll start with the discussion this evening. So Gary, please.
Yeah, I don't know how much in-depth we want to get tonight with 2 council members missing, but I just, again, we've been through the utilities to some degree. There's very little change from last year, other than I had mentioned to you to go through the capital projects, just see if you had any issues or additions that you might want to add. The only budget that I see a need to, the only thing that I changed, or that will be changed, will be transfers into the general fund if things progress as presented on the general fund side. Our transfers will be reduced. We had 175, and we'll reduce the electric to 150, and we'll reduce the gas to, I believe, 40,000. So, which would put us under 200,000 for the first time in eternity. So,
What's the long-term plan for the sewer plant?
sewer plant. We need to get an engineer in there because it's going to have to be phased, and Tom, maybe you can speak on that with more
We'll need to-
intelligence than I.
Reline the basins, 2 of the basins, and we need the aeration system needs to be upgraded.
We're going to try and continue the same sludge settle system we've got now?
I don't think we can get out of it. We don't have room for a lagoon system. It's something we probably could go to at this point without the packing house running. So we would have to have space to put lagoons in. And we haven't come up with a spot for it. So,
It would be really nice in the long run to have lagoons, but we're wedged with our wells all down in that area. It creates some issues, so.
Wouldn't we rather deal with this planning than we would a crisis? Because we're certainly heading for a crisis with the sewer plant at some point.
I don't know how many more years we can get out of the plant.
Yeah, me neither.
I think that could sure be part of our study, though.
We've kicked the can down the road, and I'm afraid you're running on a road.
We're getting to the end with some of it. It's 50 years old plus, so.
So if the next step is engineering study, do we need to include that in the capital expenditures for the next year?
We've got,
20,000 in there.
we've got 20,000 in for the engineering study, but as far as, I can't imagine that we're going to get any capital improvements done in,
I just need to get the project started.
yeah. I think we get the engineering done, then we'll know, what direction to go and get stuff out for bids and, go through that process. And by next spring, then the following spring, I would think that we'd be in a place where we could do some things, so.
Yep.
But we definitely need to get the engineering done on it. And the other reason to get the engineering done is if we're going to rely on any type of financing, if we use a state revolving loan fund or something in that regard, they're going to require engineering to be a part of that before we'll be eligible for any type of funding, so. Otherwise, I think utilities look really well, in really good shape with the exception of, again, cable, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, but.
Okay. Any further discussion on utility budget discussion? Now we'll move to number 7, kind of an initial review of the general budget for 2000 fiscal year 18.
And again, this is the first time you guys have had a chance to look at it, so I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail. Just the main things to keep in mind with the utility budget, again, utility transfers are down significantly. Revenues are up. Part of that's due to the fact that we finalized TIF 1, which was the TIF area that was in the south or northwest part of the community, and its useful life and what we had created their renewal plan we've served the purpose that it was designed to do, and so we closed that. Therefore, the money goes back in the general fund, increase our general fund, and by doing that, we're able to decrease some transfers and also control and slightly lower our tax levy again for the year. So all the department heads were really good about working at. We let them know from the beginning that the only increases that we wanted to see were those that were approved by the council as far as salaries. Beyond that, all budgets were under control. The only exception to that, again, is the Big Sur River Historical Society, and you guys can think about this. We can talk about it with the full council next week, or next meeting. But I did add, I believe it was $5,000 for the capital project funds and for capital project funding, and then the contribution to Big Sur River Historical Society for maintenance on all three of those buildings. We increased from $3,000 to $5,000 in the budget, which is a $7,000 increase. Not what Tim was asking for, but that's, you guys kind of kicked the can down the road when Tim brought it up and you wanted to have it done at budget time, so that's something else you might want to discuss at the next meeting. And but with that increase in there, we still, again, we've reduced transfers down. I did not put anything in the general fund for the expenditures such as the nature center, if that's something you choose to do, because I don't know when you're going to do it. I don't know how much you're going to do it. I don't know whether it'll be in next year's budget, this year's budget. But as you can see, through the process, there is nearly $100,000 of excess revenue over expenditures yet, which would allow us to budget amendment, create a budget amendment for that amount. Anything up to, we got 89,000 in there of excess revenue, so, right now. So something like the Nature Center or, something else you guys might want to expend money on, that I'm unaware of, we can always do amendment to the budget to incorporate that. It's hard to do a budget when you don't know how much or when an expense is going to occur. So it's, as long as we have the revenue available, it's easier to leave it out and plug it when the time comes, so we know what the amount is. So anyway, we can get into more detail on general fund next week, unless you guys, or next meeting, unless you guys have some specific questions. We'll have the capital equipment listing at the next meeting, but the only thing that we plan on buying this next fiscal year is one more for $7,500. That's the only expenditure we're going to have on capital equipment. So, we pretty minimal amount of spending. So, otherwise, I think that's all I had, unless you guys have some questions.
I think you've done a wonderful job, and department heads too, and departments for keeping the budget very good and getting the transfers, as you mentioned earlier, as low as they've ever been in eternity, so to speak. So.
Yeah, it's been a great, obviously the council's made some great decisions and some of the things we've done to allow that to happen, and it's just exciting to see it come to fruition and see if the city can be lean and mean and saving money in many ways and getting the transfers down to where they're, I think, at a respectable level. And I really think that they probably could next year go down slightly again if things play out the way I see them playing out. So,
still offering good service to the citizenry in the community.
Yeah, it allows us to do things like the street projects we've done and the utility projects we've done by controlling all the other expenditures that we can put money into the infrastructure, which is where the city should be spending their money, in my opinion. So.
Any comments for the initial review of the general fund budget? Okay, we'll continue to look at that and talk on that again. Next is a discussion, number 8, cable rates and possible changes necessary there.
Again, you've got the information in front of you regarding our current cable rates or existing cable rates. Right now, we're selling it for less than we're paying for it, which is it's not a great formula.
I'm in a tenable situation.
We just need more customers, that's all.
Need more customers, right. More customers with that,
You
anyway.
can't lose $5 an apple and make it up by selling more apples. It doesn't work.
We can try, but, so we're at $47. It's currently costing us $50.26. And before the next year, that cost is going to go up because those, we're going to see increased costs for providing channels, whether it's retransmission fees from our locals or some of the existing cable channels that we have. So
Those retransmission fees, they're just pass-through, they're just random whenever they wish to?
they were free, if you remember
At one
correctly,
point.
up to about 4 years ago.
Right.
And then they allowed them to start charging to provide KCAU, KTIV, KELO, KMAG, all the local channels. Now they've charged, and they begin each year. They continue to go up more and more and more as to what they're charging to carry those common channels on our cable system.
Do they give us pre-warning when they're going to up? There's no
I mean, there's a contract.
contract.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a contract, and if you
Right.
don't sign it, then you don't carry their channel. That's really what it amounts to. This is what it's going to be, and
Which is, other side of that coin is that the government has also said if you don't carry KTIV, you cannot carry any other NBC affiliate.
that's right.
So they can charge whatever they want to,
That's right.
because we can't do anything about it.
That's right. We're in their territory, their service territory, or their coverage territory, I guess.
While they may have their heads up their asses, you need to understand that cable's gonna die the way that the phone system did.
Yeah, it will.
We're not gonna pour a lot of money into this because it's not tenable.
Yep.
We have costs we cannot do anything about, and the more we raise these fees, the fewer people you're gonna have subscribe.
Yeah, it's a vicious circle. It really is.
So I'm just saying, we're not gonna throw a whole lot of money at cable.
No.
Now, if we can deliver it over what we've got for internet service, because that's gonna be the cash cow for us.
Yep. Yep, I couldn't agree more.
No.
We just need to charge enough to cover our costs and a little more to provide the
I
service.
think adding the line item is a good idea. You know, I even go as far as to break the damn thing down once a year to tell them exactly what they're getting for their money.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's criminal. I have for, how long, Jim?
So,
I'm about done. Don't worry about it. I'm leaving.
so you guys have any suggestions on, I mean, I threw out $10. That would take it up to 57 from 47, and that would give us about a $5, or about a $6.50 margin, which is about where we were 2 years ago.
When are your contracts up?
I'm sorry?
When are your contracts up?
They are pretty much continuous. They're negotiated through, what's that pool called?
NCTC.
Yeah, NCTC, who all, they kind of mold all those, the contracts with the retransmission
Yeah, the local.
ones are, they're sporadic. I mean, they're not all due at the same time. The NCTC covers our contract with pretty much all these other ones with the exception of the retransmission ones, so. And they just keep sneaking up too every time you bundle, you have that bundle and you pay the price, basically, it's just, there's just not a lot of negotiation in those fees, unfortunately, on that side of it, so.
Right.
So, if we were to prepare a first reading of an ordinance for the next meeting, would you be comfortable with starting at 57, and you can always amend it, is that correct, Jim? If you guys
Start over if you
have to start over, so would you rather wait till the others are back and talk about a rate next time, or?
And you could, if you amended it later, you could waive some of the readings. Doc will vote against it.
That's right. Well, I'm gonna vote against it anyway, so what's everybody else getting?
I just mentioned in my memo that I get my dad's, and his is $73 for pretty much the same channels. They have Fox Sports North, which is about $5. So a comparative would be 68, and ours is 47 plus tax, about 53 or something. So they're about $15. They would currently be 73, and we would be 57 plus some tax. So we'll be up in that 62 range probably. So we'll be about $10 or $11 under Premier.
But Premier's not a competitor. Our competitor is
Dish Network.
Dish and DirecTV
Yeah.
and the internet.
Yeah, it depends on whether you're a new customer with Dish or whether you've had them for a while, and, but
Well, but everyone we lose is gonna be a new customer for Dish.
that's right. And when we raise these prices, we're gonna lose some more.
Yep.
There's no doubt about that.
Yep.
So, and I'm just open to whatever your suggestions are. We at least somehow need to cover our costs, and our costs are beyond just the channels we're delivering. We still have to maintain the service and do all the other things that go with that, so.
I'm gonna vote against it, but is $10 enough? Are you gonna do that every year?
In my opinion, it's probably not, but I was trying to be gentle on, because I know how much you guys like increases, but
Yeah, but we can't lose money, so we
Right.
gotta do something.
In 6 months, you're gonna come in here and say, we're losing $5 a subscriber
Yeah.
again.
well, it should be more than $10, but
Well,
if you
I
factor.
guess that's why I asked, what's the competition doing?
Yeah.
What are their options? If we price ourselves out of this market, very few people are going to turn their televisions off.
Yeah. Yeah, Dish Network is, I mean, it's really hard to even come up with a price for them, because you get, if you have packages, if you have, you know, NFL package or a sport package or whatever, or if you're a new customer, you get it for $29 a month for 2 years, and then they, you know, it's just hard to tell you. I don't really know, to be honest with you, and I don't know if I could even get you a good answer of what they are. But I do think we have to charge what it costs us.
Why don't we
You
just
know.
start with that 57 to start with and get the ball rolling, and so we aren't losing money every month while we're thinking about it and stuff.
Yeah, say, the number of people you lose will probably be breaking even again anyways,
Yeah, yeah.
just at 57.
Most of them charge us per subscriber, right? Most of our rates are set, so if we lose a customer, as long as our costs are covered, our costs are still covered.
Right.
It's when you lose $5 an apple, you can't afford to buy more apples. It
Exactly.
means you gotta get rid of some channels, and I would say get rid of some channels.
Yeah, that's an option that,
Well,
don't-
there's no reason in the world we have to cover Kello. None.
it's surprising how many people, though,
I'm sure they
want
do,
that.
but does the whole town need to pay for those couple of people that like it?
Yeah. I would say it's about a 50-50 split between people that want Kello as a CBS provider and want the other
They don't get a
option.
choice.
But, yeah, yeah, and they don't get a choice. I mean, you can't, so I'm not sure what the right answers are either. I really don't, but,
Well, you're not gonna win the war.
yeah, no matter what you do,
How long
you're
you wanna
gonna,
fight the battle, because you're not gonna win the war.
yeah, no matter what you do, you're gonna upset some, and you're gonna, so. How about if we draft one, and we'll start there, and we'll see what the discussion goes at the next meeting, and we can always,
Sounds good.
nothing else, we'll push it back one meeting or something, if that's all right.
Okay, okay.
Jim will draft one, won't you, Jim?
You'll just cut and paste.
Thank you.
That's called draft.
Consent agenda for liquor license transfer for January 28th and February 4th. Is there a motion for the consent agenda?
So moved.
Moved by Tim, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by John. All in favor of the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed,
No matter what we do.
it's 3-0.
As you know, what is going away.
Next regular meeting will be February 8th. Motion to adjourn?
So, second.
Second by John. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, thanks for your attendance.
Funny. Did you sign the bill thing?